Wait, hey, it's Robert Johnson here, and I just want to go into a bit more detail about Shou Sugi Ban. And I mentioned in the previous video that it's as simple as that, and it really is, but there's a few tips that I would like to give to you, just in case if you were wanting to do it the next day. And these are some tips that I think are very important. One of them is, when you start it, actually don't do it when your siding is already on the wall, because that's not a really good idea. You want to do it when it's on the ground. So here, I have my friend here with me, and he came down and he just did a bunch of torching all the boards, and it really is kind of a process. It does take time. It's a three-step process with torching, sanding, and staining. And first of all, we'll start with the torching. If you're wondering what type of torch that you really want, I would suggest not using a tiger torch. And I know if you try to go anywhere like the common stores, like a Home Depot or Rona or whatever it is, I went in there and they didn't have the torch that I needed. What they wanted to sell me was a tiger torch. Now, a tiger torch is fairly long. It doesn't have a lot of adjustment, and it has 500,000 BTU. And basically, with that type of length, you're going to burn your board a lot quicker. And I would suggest one of these torches. It's a stripper torch, and basically it allows you to set the pilot light so that as soon as your finger is off the trigger, you could have a pilot light and you could set it down while you move your board around, and you have a lot of control. And then also too, it has a dial that you can set how hot you want it to be, and that allows you to go close or further back, so you have a lot of control. And some parts of the wood, as you're burning, if there's knots, it burns differently, so you do want that control. So I would just pick up one of these torches, because it's not long. It gives you the distance where you can set up your material close to you, so you're not burning on the ground or creating any kind of fire hazard. So that's really important. Now, the next step that I wanted to quickly mention is the sanding tools. Now, once you have your boards all charred, I would suggest, my personal favorite is the finishing sander. Now, the finishing sander, the reason why I like it is just because it has a real light vibrate. So it's a standard sheet that you can get, and you put it on there. And I would start with maybe a 120, and then just work your way up. I wouldn't go more than 200, but it just gives you a lot of control. You could basically put your hand on there, and what it does is that as you're burning, it's not gonna dig deep down into it. Now, I would not do that with the orbital, and the reason why is the orbital is pretty powerful. It spins. You can cut through flesh. You just got to be really careful for it. But I'll just show you what happens. You can use an orbital. It's really great. But with the orbital, it would leave a lot of touch and go marks. So basically, every time you touch down with the orbital, it would leave a swirl, and that will actually show up in your finish once it's on the wall. So be careful with the touch and go. If you're using an orbital, I would suggest just putting it down and then turning it on and then working with it like that. Now, the belt sander is the next one. This is pretty powerful because it spins on a belt there. It actually, depending on the grit you have, can quickly take off a lot of meat. So this is just touching down lightly. You can already see that it already takes off quite a bit of your surface there. So I would just stick with the sander, and that is the reason, because you have a lot of control as you're sanding your material. And one of the other things is have on hand, if you do, an air compressor with a blower, and that allows you, as you're sanding, to blow the dust off so it's removed. You could actually see the type of finish you're going to have. So there you have it with the tips with the tools and the torches. And yeah, I hope you have a great day. And buruch.